8 days, I ran a marathon, raced a half marathon, completed a HYROX, and then joined a random burpee challenge just as I was about to eat me some fish and chips. Was it smart? I don't know. Was it scientifically optimal? Probably not. But was it an accurate representation of how this brother likes to make decisions when life gets tough? Absolutely. You know, somewhere between the marathon, the half marathon, the bleeding foot, the 3 hours of sleep, the HYROX collapse, I learned an important lesson. Toughness is real, but preparation will always win. So let me set the stage. For about 2 months, I had barely worked out properly. No calisthenics, no running. It was mostly just work stress, deadlines, and the classic corporate athlete routine. Sitting in meetings, drinking coffee, and telling myself, next week I'm back. And then of course, next week becomes next month. And then suddenly you have an official half marathon and a HYROX coming up. So naturally, I was thinking to myself, it'd be a good idea running a marathon right before the half marathon and the HYROX, because apparently that's how my brain likes to handle things. The marathon was heroic, but not in a beautiful way. It was heroic in an ugly way. After around 20 kilometers, my legs, hips, and knees basically sent in a formal letter of resignation. From that point on, it was less of a run and more of a pilgrimage. Walking, limping, questioning life, fighting mental demons. And to make that situation even more poetic, most of the activity got actually deleted because it was raining. Clothes was rubbing against the watch, accidental input. So even the fitness tracker said, you know what? I ain't documenting this mess. But I finished the distance. Around 7.5 hours of running time. It was not fast. It was not pretty, but it was complete. So lesson number 1 was already clear. It proved to me that I was not ready, but I was underprepared. At the same time, it was something that I had to do because my mind wouldn't just simply let me run the half marathon without doing something for it in advance. So ladies and gentlemen, the half marathon. So 2 days after the marathon, the official half marathon. It was a real event, real people, real timing, real opportunity for me to get in there and show me that I have some grit and willpower in this tank left. Distance, 21.37 kilometers. Official time, 2 hours and 7 minutes. Average pace, 5:58 per kilometer. Average heart rate, around 174. Maximum heart rate, 194. Basically, my heart wasn't running a half marathon. It was filing an emergency incident report. But here's the strange part. During the race, my legs actually felt good. At 5 kilometers in, good. 10 kilometers, still good. 15, 16 kilometers, good. Finishing the race, still good. After the finish, different story. I had blisters, foot pain, my calves were screaming, my thighs were screaming, and my knee hollow, it was basically damaged for days after the official half marathon. Not to mention, my right foot was bleeding. So during the race, I felt like a warrior. After the race, I was walking to the car like a pirate with unpaid medical bills. And here is lesson number 2. Sometimes the body will let you perform, especially when the mind is strong, but then it will send the invoice later. All in all, it was an okay performance for the half marathon, especially the first 10 kilometers started out real good. Then the pace dropped and the heart was beating faster. So I was working even more harder to generate less output. So the engine was fighting, but the efficiency was going down. Simply put, the heart was saying, I can't continue. And the body's response was, yeah, but at what cost, brother? And the cost was that my right knee hollow was severely damaged and to this day hasn't recovered yet, which shows us the difference between general toughness and specific preparation. So I was going into my HYROX knowing that my endurance identity was still there. Engine alive, tires questionable, the suspension Greek Village Road, HYROX. So then came HYROX. Let me talk a little bit about the setup. And this is where the comedy becomes almost illegal. The day before HYROX, I worked until 6 p.m., then took the train, 6-hour ride, arrived at like 2 a.m. in the morning, fell asleep at 3 a.m. because my demons was keeping me alive, and the alarm went off at 6 a.m. So yeah, it was basically work, train, 3 hours of sleep, existential silence, and then HYROX. And now, after this sleep-deprived audit of my nervous system, here come the HYROX results. I clocked in at 2 hours. Kinda underwhelming. Again, I was asked whether I was prepared, and again, the answer was, not really, my friend. Not really. Luckily, there is data. And with that, I was able to deduce a couple of things. With around 20 minutes spent in the rock zone, I lost a lot of time transitioning between workouts. Also, my worst stations like sandbag lunges, wall balls, or the sleds is workouts that I either don't do at all in my own training regime or not specifically. For instance, I do really nothing that would prepare me for the sled stations. As for squats and lunges, I do them, but that's not what HYROX is asking me to do. HYROX is asking specifically for me to do them loaded after having completed gruesome activities and while spiritually cooked. Can you do 100 wall balls after your legs have filed an official complaint with HR? Can you pull a sled if you never actually pull sled? The answer was visible on the scoreboard. This is the big lesson. General fitness carries over, but only up to a certain point. Body weight lunges help, but sandbag lunges are different. Air squats help, but wall balls are different. Being good at burpees helps, but HYROX is not a burpee contest. HYROX is running, stations, transitions, equipment, pacing, and fatigue management. It is not only one monster. It is 8 smaller monsters in a trench coat. So if you have not trained for those exact monsters, they collect their tags at each station. After HYROX. So after the race, we was chilling with the homies, having a good time, cracking some jokes. Hey, what's up, my man? Hey, I know it's been a while. How is everything going? All this and that. Then we was walking around trying to grab some food on the HYROX campus. A brother like me, I got me some fish and chips at Holy Fish. In God we trust. Walking back to the homies, I arrive at our table, putting the fish and chips down, and it was at this moment that I hear somebody on the stage say, hey, who wants to do some burpees? Oh, brother, without hesitation, I'm putting down this untouched fish and chips onto the table, and I march onto the stage. No discussion, no warm-up, just straight instinct. Burpee challenge! So it was 6 guys and 3 girls, and the host was like, okay, it's guys versus guys and girls versus girls. Burpees unbroken, last man standing. By the way, we had to do the HYROX burpee and not the military calisthenics strict burpees that I like to do. Of course, I had complained. I was like, yo, this ain't no burpee. And the host was like, yo, you ain't gotta be holier than the Pope. We're gonna do them this way. So this is what we did. Still, you had me at burpees. So I had just done HYROX after a half marathon, after a marathon. Right knee hollow is completely out of it by this point, and still at the sound of burpees, the first thing that came to my mind was, yo, did somebody say burpees? And I was locked in. I was dead set on killing it. I was gonna go for 2-3 hours no matter what. By minute 35, only 4 guys were left. I was settled in. I wasn't gonna go nowhere. I wasn't looking for no exit. I was in it to win it. That was home. And then at minute 35, the host changed the rules. He was like, nah, this is gonna take way too long. So we're gonna do sudden death, 10 burpees, 4 speed on stage. That means whoever finishes first wins. And just like that, the endurance race suddenly became a sprint. I did not win. So I saw that somebody in the front row had filmed the entire thing, and I asked her to airdrop it to me. Shout outs to the girl. And upon checking the video, I saw that I was just fractions of a second slower than the winner. And I got this Gillette Labs shaver. So first of all, shout outs to the winner. Shout outs to everybody that participated. Shout outs to all people, as a matter of fact. You're doing great, people. Keep it up. You know, after the HYROX, I must have felt humbled, at least subconsciously. I haven't yet processed all the emotions, but it must have been in there somewhere. HYROX and all these other events, they exposed my missing structure. And with that Burpee challenge, it showed me that my identity was still alive, which was the entire point of this myth to begin with. 3 athletic events within 8 days, and it showed me that my fire was still there. The real lessons. First, toughness without structure becomes expensive. It will get you to the finish, but not necessarily fast and not necessarily smart. Number 2, specificity matters. If you want to perform HYROX, you should probably train HYROX. Wall balls, sandbag lunges, running under fatigue, all that, everything, and not just random acts of Spartan violence. Number 3, sleep matters. It's kind of an annoying lesson, and I wish it were not true, but apparently the body likes recovery. Who knew? I wonder if anyone's already discovered this. So yes, in 8 days, I ran a marathon, raced a half marathon, completed a HYROX, only to join a Burpee challenge. It wasn't optimal, it wasn't clean, it wasn't intelligent, but it was honest. And sometimes honesty looks like a bleeding foot, a bad ranking, fish and chips on the table, and one more burpee when nobody asks you to prove anything. The marathon had humbled me. The half marathon showed me that my engine was still alive. HYROX exposed my missing structure. And the Burpee challenge showed me that my fire will always be real. So this for you, my little brother from the future. You do not need to suffer more. You need to suffer better, with preparation, with structure, with purpose. And rest assured, next time I am bringing armor. Deuces. All right, so we got to check if this works, then we got to go run this marathon. Let's hit them. Yeah. Let's take them back. Coming up, I was confused to see my papa in handcuffs, law-abiding man. This world is so random. Mama working 3 jobs and navigate a odyssey. You really build your character growing up in poverty. My angels say amen, got equal opportunities. The devil wants to draw a gun and shoot a scene. I stay fasted, cleansing with autophagy. Even though it's eating me up, if I'm being honest, G. So I use rap to write my autobiography. Keep me on track and staying out of robberies. Try to shut me down brutally, but I'm not losing any sleep, cause steady pursuing my dreams, yeah. And I'm gonna shine, homie, until my heart stop. Go ahead, envy me. I'm Raps MVP, and I ain't going nowhere, so you can get to know me. Yo, did somebody say burpees?